Hey guys, my name is Sarah.
And I'm Anthony, the African American.
And the Ugandan, African.
Pearl of Africa.
The motherland.
I was supposed to say the motherland.
No, it's my thing.
It's our thing.
Okay,
the
it's
motherland.
our thing. The motherland.
So, we're here today to talk to you about our experiences living abroad. First, before we get into the show, what would we like them to do?
Subscribe, leave a comment, and ask us any question. We're going to reply.
Like and share.
And tap the notification button so that you can be notified anytime we post something.
Yes, because our shows are nice. They're really nice. They're very positive, and it's going to give you insight on living in Africa or living in America. Mm-hmm. So you'll know how to live in the West and you'll know how to live in the East. So this show is going to give you all of the information. So before we get started, Sarah, I want to take a brief moment to thank Oshay Kenganda for having us on his show the other day. The reviews were phenomenal. The comments, there was very nice comments. I want to thank everyone that commented, said my wife was beautiful. I know she's beautiful. That's why I married her. I have her because she's beautiful. Not just because you're beautiful. You're beautiful inside and out. So that's one of the reasons why I married her, because of her values. You know, she adds to my life. So I want to thank you all for that. I want to thank Oshay Duke Jackson for having us on his show. And we want to thank everyone that subscribed to our channel.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Really appreciate it.
Especially thank those who subscribed because they saw us on Kenganda. We want to thank you especially. And we want to thank those who just subscribed just on their own. So now, let's get into today's show. So you live in America, not so?
Yep.
And you're from?
Uganda, Africa.
So that means you live abroad. So you have to have some experiences.
Please, I do.
Sarah, let me ask you about some of your experiences living in the United States of America. I want to start by asking you about your challenges. What type of challenges have you faced since you have moved to the United States of America?
The first challenge that I faced that really affected me mentally and physically, I don't know if it's physically and mentally, all I know is it's affected me, so it was racism. I don't mean harm or anything, but there are a lot of racists here. That's what I was saying.
So what was your experience with racism? How did that go? How did that affect you?
It affected me in a way like it was Father's Day, and I decided to take my husband out for lunch in a restaurant. And when we reached in a restaurant, they put us where it was like empty, and other people were there the other side. So on my side, I was like, maybe they are putting us there because they want to also feel that side. So I didn't care, but later a couple came in. They were white. They came in and I thought they were gonna also send them where they were, but they put them where the others were. And I was like, okay, maybe that's how they want it to be. Then later a black couple came in and they sent them where we were. It's like they were separating the restaurant, whites and blacks. I didn't like that.
How did that make you feel?
Bad.
Okay.
It made me feel like I'm worthless. It made me feel like I went to that restaurant and I'm not going to spend money. Yeah.
Have you ever experienced that in Uganda?
I've never in my entire life experienced something like that. That's why I'm saying that I've never experienced racism. That's why it affected me. Someone can look at it and be like, we are used to something like that, but I am not.
Now, you was also in Kenya before. Did you experience that in Kenya?
Not at all. In Kenya, they were loving, they were welcoming. Most especially this lady that drove me in Uber. Okay. She was nice to me. She said that, can I give you my number so that next time when you come back, you can take me also? I was like, yeah. So
that's a whole different experience than feeling like you are even worth nothing.
Yep.
But we're used to that in the United States. When I say we're used to it, it's not like we sit and are settled with it. We fight. We fight back and we fight for rights. We've been fighting for our rights for centuries. Since the early 1600s, we've been fighting and fighting and fighting, pushing the envelope further and further and further. We're not where we need to be yet because that racism is systematic, is embedded in the United States culture. So that's part of the U.S. culture. But don't worry, nothing can happen to you while you're with me.
Trust me, I know, but that day I just wanted to go back home. I really wanted to go back home where I'm taking like someone. Like I really wanted to go back home.
Wow. So how do you all treat foreigners when they're in Uganda?
Nice, friendly. Trust me, we treat people nice.
So if they're white, if they're black,
it doesn't matter which
Chinese,
race you are. It doesn't matter. They are gonna treat you good.
Wow. Wow.
Real good. And maybe someone who would treat the white people bad is someone who has ever been here and they know. Trust me, the way they have treated me, I don't think I will not treat them bad because that's not me. It's not in me. Like that's not how I was raised. But I wasn't happy.
Wow. 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 Okay. Are there any other challenges you face while in the United States?
Yeah, and also here it's all I say. It's all about you. Like nobody's there for you. They are there for you, but like nobody's there for you all the way. In Africa, everyone is there for you. Like you can be like, let me go to the shop, and you tell your neighbor, can you stay with my kid? They are gonna stay with your kid, and you run to the store, come back, find the kid there. They are gonna feed the kid. They are gonna do everything. But here, it's like I'm lonely. I'm alone. It's all about me. Like for example, a neighbor across our house lost someone. Like we say it was her son.
Yes.
She lost her son, and we kept seeing people there. They were gathering, and I was like, what's going on? You also didn't know, you remember?
Right.
You didn't know.
Right.
So later we saw some coming out wearing t-shirts that had someone.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in
Right.
peace. I was like, wow, someone died there. Across the door. Like,
Right across the street.
right
the house
across the street. Like, I can just open my window and see them. Like, in Uganda, if someone died, my mom is gonna get up and go to the neighbor, like, almost go 5 miles.
So it's more of a community.
A community. It's
Okay.
all about the community.
Well, here's individualism. So it's about me. It's about my family.
Not in Uganda, like, not in Africa. In Africa, all I would say is a child is raised by the whole community.
Okay.
That's what I would say. But here, you raise your kid.
Well, we used to have that in the African American community where it was about the community, but then we had all these different laws that came into place. People started wanting to integrate in with the other community, and through integration, we lost a lot of that which we did have of that community being about us, gathering together, fending for each other. We could whoop each other's children, things of that nature, but we can't do that no more.
It's all about you. That's what I would say.
So, well, racism, individualism. What else? What's another challenge you face?
I would say food. Food!
What about the food? You have to eat.
Okay, I'm picky.
Very.
I'm very picky.
Very.
Yeah. I eat what I know. I eat what I've ever seen. All I say, I will eat what I know. I don't eat anything I don't know. Even if it's, I would say, noodles, and they are prepared a certain way that I don't know, I'm not going to eat that.
So the pasta has to be prepared
my way.
Okay.
The way that I know. So the food is a challenge. Then it feels, in the house, it feels like I'm in the prison. I'm sorry, but I feel like I'm in a cage. Though there is a difference between being in prison.
Now, elaborate on that, because I don't want nobody to take it the wrong way. They're like, oh, he's imprisoning her. He have her locked down. He won't let her do anything. Elaborate on that so people can understand when you say feel like you're in a prison here.
All I'll say is I stay in the house for like too much.
Okay.
I have no friends. I have no one to talk to. Nobody's gonna come. The neighbors are gonna say hi, and they go do their own things. Like I stay home the whole day. In Uganda, I'm used to being around people.
Right.
I'm used to being around people. Like, it can't pass by 2 minutes without seeing people. Here, you spend the whole day without seeing anyone. The only face you're gonna see is your husband when he's back home from work, or when he work from home, but when he's maybe downstairs. Hey, I'm here to have lunch. He has lunch, then go back to sleep. It's like
The sleep or the office?
I'm sorry, to the office. So he is the only person you're gonna see. It feels like you are in the prison, though you can go out. That's the only advantage it is to being in prison than this. Like, you can go out with this and move around. But there is no difference between a prisoner and me. I would say me.
So do you feel like you're restricted, meaning that you're not allowed to go here and there, or do you feel more so that there's not many places for you to go?
There are not many places for me to go. There's nobody I know. There's nowhere to go. Like, sometimes I go to the stores and I end up there. You know how many hours I spend there?
Yes.
I just go to the store and look at stuff just to pass time, just to make myself feel good, so that I'm not depressed. It feels like I'm alone, lonely, trapped in a cage, alone.
Wow.
Like,
so when you're in Uganda, do you feel that same way? Do you feel like you're in prison? What's the difference? Like when you're in Uganda, because we be at home in Uganda, we be at our house pretty much the same way we do here in the United States. So what's the difference in being in our house or being in our community in Uganda and being in our house or community here in the United States?
People are friendly there. That's what I would say. You're gonna make friends, no matter what.
Okay.
Like, you're gonna go out, like to the store, to buy stuff. You're gonna make friends there. You can sit out on the porch and you're gonna see people. Here, I go out on the porch, sit the whole day, and I see people coming back from work in the evening and maybe going to work in the morning. And that's
Wow. So you feel like you're just like in some kind of space, empty
space, like where I can't get out of. Sometimes.
Because in Uganda, when we're at home, you see so many people sloping up, sloping down, and people talking to you, communicating with you. Like even when I go walking every morning in Uganda, everybody know me in the community. They're like, hey, I just saw you walking in Kajansi, I saw you walking here, I saw you walking there.
The reason why I say I'm like in prison, like when you're in prison, I've never been to prison before, but maybe I've seen it in the movies. When you're in prison, you're talking to only your inmates, not so. And you're my inmate. That's so.
I'll be an inmate. I got a good inmate, a very good, a clean inmate too.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It's like you're my inmate. You're the only person I talk to, and I talk to my kids. They don't understand what I'm saying, but I'm talking to them. So that's the prison I'm talking about.
Okay.
You are only with the people that are in
that prison with you. Okay. So now, are there any other challenges?
Also communication and weather.
The weather, you don't love the weather here? I mean, it's snow, it rain, it get 20 degrees. What's there not to love about that?
Hey, you remember the first time I came here, I spent the whole winter upstairs in the bedroom, in the bed covering myself. You used to say, are you not going to eat? I'm like, I just want to cover myself.
Now, what's the difference between the weather here in Uganda? It's the same.
Guys, I'm sorry to say this, but come to the motherland. You're going to see what I talk about when it comes to weather. The roads might be bad, whatever it is, but the weather.
Okay, it's 80 degrees year-round, tropical weather, so what? I mean, that can't compare to snow.
Here, when it gets hot,
it's scorching.
90 degrees hot. When it gets cold, you can't even get out of bed. Like, the weather is also limiting you to do what you want to do.
I understand that.
Yeah, and communication, sometimes I feel like people don't understand what I'm saying. Yeah, sometimes I feel like when I say something and they say, "What did you say?" I just keep quiet.
Your accent.
Yeah, I feel like they don't understand my accent.
Well, I mean, that's universal. When I was in Paris, I had one of those little bitty books where where it teach you how to speak French. And I went inside the McDonald's and I opened the book and I started reading the book that's trying to talk. They look at me like, who in the world is this? So I understand.
Yeah.
I understand. So communication is really important.
And the worst of all, the challenge that I faced, the worst of all is when my baby, our older son was diagnosed with lead poisoning that he got from the paint in the house.
Yes.
That broke me down.
Yeah, because our house is over 100 years old, historic. So before 1976, I believe, the houses here in the U.S. there was, or at least in St. Louis, I know for sure, when they were built, they used lead paint. So that was a huge disadvantage. It was a huge upset for both of us. So good enough, we renovated our whole house, did lead remediation, did total renovation to the entire house. So now it's safer for the boys. But I do understand because that was hard for you and for me.
It was hard.
And for our family. That was hard for everyone in the family.
So let's stop there with me for now. Let's ask you, what are the challenges that you face in my motherland, our motherland? What are the challenges you face?
I know. Okay, all right, that's what our son Kari do, the 2-year-old. So now, my challenges in Uganda, the Pearl of Africa, the motherland. Number 1, communication. The same as you. Oh my goodness. No, the funny thing is, when I'm in Uganda, I try so hard to talk the local language to people. So I go to people. I remember I was in the airport. I was in the Entebbe airport, and I walk up to this guy. He was at the restaurant. I walk up to the guy and said, "Jebele Kosebo." He looked at me, he's like, "What?" I said, "Jebele Kosebo." He said, "What?" I said, "Jebele Kosebo." He said, "I don't speak French." He didn't understand me at all. I'm trying to speak local language. I always try to speak to people. I'd be like, maybe Wazuzio Choyambo. I'm always trying to speak local language to people, and they look at me like I'm mad. Like, who are you? What are you saying? So I get discouraged too. So I try hard to fit in and talk the local language. It rarely works. It hardly works. Sometimes people understand me and they enjoy that, but 70% of the time my accent is too heavy where people don't understand me when I try to talk the local language. So communication is a problem for me too. But what I've learned to do when I'm in Uganda, I learned to talk English slow, because I've learned that in Uganda, in particular, when I'm talking my English, because we talk American English and you talk British English, so I learned that I have to speak slow when I'm talking to people, because that way they can understand me better. So that's one of the ways I got over that communication hump, is I talk slowly to people. So that even here, that might be something suggested for you with that challenge here.
So what's any other challenges?
Do I have any other challenges? Electricity. When I first got to Uganda, oh my goodness. I stayed in Luzira when I first got to Uganda at a friend named Yusuf's house. So when I stayed there, one night, everything went out across the whole world. It wasn't no electricity. I'm talking about even as far as China. No electricity around the world. It was that dark. And I'm like, what in the world? So I'm like, just sitting there. I didn't know what to do. I used my cell phone battery for a minute. I was like, no, what if my battery go out? I don't know how long this is going to last. And being in complete pitch blackness, I've never been in pitch blackness. I've never experienced that. So that was a challenge. So, but the good thing is we got over that hurdle.
I'm sorry. It makes me laugh because for me, I'm used to that.
So
that we always see.
But the good thing is we got over that hurdle, and this is advice to anyone that want to move to Africa, want to repatriate to Africa, or even visit Africa. When you go there, the electricity is not like it is in the Western world. So what? It's a different country or different continent. The answer was a easy solution that we had. So now at our house, at our home in Uganda, we have solar panels. So now we never, ever go without electricity. Because I don't like the complete darkness. So that was a challenge that we overcame, or I overcame. So let's see, challenge number 3. Challenge number 3 is the big one. I mean that in a very serious way. It should have been challenge number 2 because it was for challenge number 2. That was nasty. So in Uganda, if you're out and about or if you're traveling, through the villages, I was going to Kenya one day on the bus, which the bus ride wasn't a problem. The problem was, before I got on the bus, I did the dumbest thing in my entire life. Ask me, what was it? Before I got on the bus, I took some aloe vera tabs. For those who don't know about aloe vera tabs, it helps you if you're having trouble going to the boys' room. If you're having trouble going to the men's room, your stomach is not agreeing with you, the aloe vera tabs, yeah. So, for some dumb reason, I took some, for some dumb, stupid, ignorant reason, I took some aloe vera tabs before getting on the bus going to Kenya. So, we get into a rural area, a village, where there's no one, nothing that, and we go into some kind of store. We stopped at a petrol station, a gas station. And my stomach, I had to go there. I had to go to the bathroom. And guess what? There was no toilets to sit on. Not one toilet to sit on. They were squatting toilets. Yeah, squatting toilets.
Yeah, you don't have squatting toilets?
No, we don't have squatting toilets. No, we don't have squatting toilets in America. That's an advantage of living in the United States of America, if there ever was one. So, I went to, I don't even feel comfortable talking about this, but I went to the squatting toilet, and I had no choice but to
squat.
And the aloe vera pills really, really work. All I would say is, when I got back on the bus, I only had one sock. There wasn't no TP there, no toilet paper. So, okay, TMI, too much information. Too much information. So, that was my huge challenge, getting used to a squatting toilet. Did I use a squatting toilet once? No. Twice? I used a squatting toilet more than 3 times because I was going to different places, and if you gotta go, you gotta go. So that
is a challenge. Anyway, that's a challenge you're gonna face, except at where you're gonna stay, they might not be squatting toilet.
Request a house with a sitting toilet if you're going to visit Africa, because you can get a house, you can rent an Airbnb, and it can have a squatting toilet.
Squatting toilet is
request. Make that request. So now, did I have any other challenge? Oh, you know another challenge I faced in Uganda?
What?
Ugandans are funny. They're mean. I sit up here on YouTube. I play like Ugandans are nice. I sit on Facebook, play like Ugandans are nice. But Ugandans are mean.
How?
Because they can look you right in the eye and be like, wow, you're fat. Oh my goodness, when I first went to Uganda, I was maybe 270 pounds, 265. and people would come to me like, wow, you're fat. I'm like, who are you talking to? I'm upset. Like, wait a minute. How you gonna talk to me like that? And they could use
They really don't mean harm. Like,
I know.
We can say anything, like we bold.
But that boldness hurted my feelings. I mean,
they didn't know. If they knew that it hurt your feelings, trust me, they wouldn't have said it.
They literally come up to you, it's like, wow, you're fat.
I also used to say that.
Yeah.
But I used to tell him that, Tony, you should exercise, you're fat. So I didn't know that it was bad. Now these days I don't say it.
Yeah, in America.
Even now you lost a lot of weight. Like.
But in America you could never go up to anyone and say, wow, you're fat. So that was a challenge in Uganda. Now I had another challenge because I was fat. It was very hard for me to sit on the floor, cross-legged, and eat. Because in Uganda, especially if you go to someone's home, especially even if you go to the village, you go to cultural events, a lot of times you could sit on the floor and eat. Everyone could be eating out of the same dish, and you're sitting on the floor. Being fat, that wasn't helpful. Oh my goodness, my legs were hurt.
Most especially when you are going to marry a Ugandan wife from the Buganda culture. Trust me, you are going to sit on the floor inside the house when you're going to eat. Anyway, there are some that are modernized where you can sit on the couch when you're eating. But back before the real culture, they used to bring them in, the man in the house where they are going to, I don't know what part of the culture they make there because I wasn't there. You're the one who was there. So I wasn't there. You go in with my dad and other people that you came with, and you have to sit on the floor, like to make that connection. What do they call it?
Connection.
Like a bond, to create a bond between you and my family, where you are now, where my father accepts you as the child, his own.
Okay.
Yeah. So
a child with a sore butt and sore legs. Yeah. What a child. Okay, so now. The other challenge I had, when I was staying in Luzira, this was my first trip to Uganda. I go to take a shower, and someone joined me in the shower. A lizard. I looked on the shower wall, and there was a lizard. I'm like, is that a lizard? So that was a small challenge. I kind of got over that one quickly. I said, well, I got a shower. Maybe the lizard got a shower. Maybe we could share the water. So I felt like, well, I got a shower. There's no way around that. So that's one of those challenges I was able to get over quickly. But the last challenge I want to add, my worst thing in Uganda, the mosquitoes. Listen, in Uganda, their mosquitoes have an army. Those mosquitoes carry AR-15s, AK-47s, any type of artillery you can name. And they come for you. And guess what? They're not going to miss. My mama from Alabama. And the mosquitoes in Alabama are about this big. But the mosquitoes in Uganda, shush.
They are tiny.
Tiny to her.
Okay. I will say about that there are mosquitoes here too.
Yeah, these mosquitoes babies. They're nothing.
The difference between mosquitoes in Uganda and mosquitoes here is when mosquitoes in Uganda bite you, you're gonna get sick.
And
malaria.
Not even sick. When they bite you in Uganda, it feels as if someone shot you in your arm. That's what it feels like. I ain't talking about a doctor with a needle.
The needle. Anyway, that's a challenge I also faced. Mosquitoes here in our backyard. Tony, they used to bruise my face, like make me swollen.
They like you.
No, like seriously, there are mosquitoes here in the backyard. But the advantage about that is they are not gonna make you sick. But in Uganda, they are gonna make you sick. So whoever is planning on going to Uganda, make sure that you get anti-malaria tablets.
But get the anti-malaria tablets in Uganda. You don't have to get them in the United States.
Yeah.
Literally, you could pay about $30, $40, even more in the United States for the tabs. I go to Uganda, I literally get a week's supply for like maybe $1 to $5 at the most, and they're just as effective.
And also a mosquito net.
Get a mosquito net. Get a mosquito net. And take some off or some kind of spray with you. You're going to be happy you took it with you.
You will enjoy. Uganda is nice. That's just a tiny disadvantage, but that can't stop you from loving the mother. Can it?
No, it can't stop
Are you never going to come back to Africa?
We're going to Africa in a few weeks. So now, Sari. Now we talked about the disadvantages, the challenges. Come on, there got to be some advantages of you being here in the United States. Please share with us your advantages.
Of course, there are few advantages I got, like especially those that involve money. The first advantage that made me excited is when I was invited to New York Fashion Week. I was like, wow.
You was invited to New York Fashion Week? What? What did you do there? You just sat and looked?
I was invited to New York Fashion Week to showcase my collection. Yeah.
You got a collection. Tell me about this collection.
I have a clothing brand called Nursery Fashion Brands.
Okay.
And under there I have nursery wear, the casual clothes.
Okay.
They are more under there. I design, I make, I draw my own patterns, I create my own fashion, everything. Yeah. Okay,
so now, so you was invited to New York Fashion Week. No, so that was an advantage. So that means it sounds like they helped expand your business.
Yeah, it expanded my business.
Okay.
A lot.
What are some of your other advantages?
I learned more about my husband.
Aww. What did you learn about me?
You
said you learned about me. I'm asking, what did you learn about me?
We became even closer to each other. Like when I came here, I knew that the only person I have is you.
Your inmate, your prison mate.
I realized that you are you're my mother, you're my father, you're my brother, you're my sister, you're my uncle,
that
my
sounds like
aunt.
a song.
Everything to me, like I had no one.
Okay.
So you were my everything. So being that you're my everything, I had to learn more about you. It helped me even grow up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it helped me grow up and become a real woman. And I was like, okay, I'm alone now. There is no mother. My mom is not here. My dad is not here. It's all about me and him.
Okay. Next advantage?
My next advantage is meeting my in-laws, our baby boy, Junior. Yeah. Meeting him also, and it was really an advantage because I badly wanted to see them. Though I badly wanted to see your big mama, but by the time I reached, she was dead.
She passed, yeah.
But that was an advantage, seeing them. I really wanted to see them. I was done communicating, just hearing them
on the phone. I know that's sucky.
Yeah. And another number one advantage that is not in Uganda. Emergency.
Emergency what?
Emergency services.
Oh.
Like the emergencies there and then.
Okay.
Like for example, one day our dryer, like I smelled smoke and it was burning, like fire was burning out. And my husband called 911. In a second, the fire was outside. I was like, what?
So the fire department came.
The fire department came. They were outside.
So did they not come that quick in Uganda?
If it's just smoking in Uganda, I'm not saying anything bad about my motherland. I love my country. Yes. But if it's smoking in Uganda, the fire department is going to reach when it's burning. Maybe when the fire is all the way in the top. First of all, they are fire departments, but the problem is the roads, they are far, the traffic passing through all that. Yeah, so that's, that even when you go to the hospital, they like, and when the hospital is like in Africa, I would say they attend to you faster
Yes,
than here.
very fast, very fast.
In Africa, when you go to the hospital, they attend to you faster,
Yes.
way faster.
Yes, yes.
What I was talking about was the fire what? Yeah, the fire
trucks,
fire
yes.
trucks, yeah. For them they take long, but in the hospital you attend to faster.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
So,
What was your advantages in Uganda?
my advantages of being in Uganda, the things I learned in Uganda, the advantages I have is I've seen people working together, people getting along. I've seen a community, and that's something that I needed, because we're taught that black people don't work together, black people don't get along. That's what we're taught in America. We're discouraged from doing things with each other. We're always saying that we're turning each other down. I didn't see any of that in Uganda or any parts of Africa I've been to thus far. I needed that. I needed to see that. So that was an advantage. It helped me to grow inside psychologically. It helped me out a lot. Another advantage that I seen in Uganda is you really get a lot of genuine friends. Now I got good friends here, but I have some good friends there as well, where they're genuine, they're really authentic, they're nice, and that's a great advantage. You would think that people there will. What we're taught, I won't say you would think, what you're taught is that people in Uganda or Africa, they want to chase you for your money. But I have friends that give me money in Uganda. If they see that I have a need, they'll give me money. A time where, I remember I lost the money, and then
They broke into our house.
yeah, then Banner had at that time just reached into his drawer at his store and just started giving me money. I'm like, wow. So that was really nice right there. And I got friends here to do the same. So that's one washes the other on that. But then another thing in Uganda, a great advantage for any African American that's looking to go to Uganda or Africa, diaspora. A great advantage is if you're an entrepreneur, there's very low entry points in order to start a business. You can start a business with as low as $500, $1,000, $5,000, $50,000, whatever money you have. You can literally start a business with that particular money. You don't need to have credit. You don't need to get a loan from the bank. You don't need to have $250,000 cash. Literally, if you got $10,000, you can start a really prosperous business. So that's a huge advantage of living in Uganda. I would say the biggest advantage for me is the culture of marriage and the culture of family. As I said before, I needed you more than you needed me. I needed a real marriage. I needed someone that grew up knowing that they wanted to be married. Here, unfortunately, we teach our daughters, you don't need a man for anything. No, I'm not saying all, but that is one of the things that some of us teach our daughters, to be independent. You don't need a man. These are the things that we are hearing around the United States in our community. I needed someone that from the time that they was small to growing up, that they was taught to be a wife, that they was taught that this is important for them. Marriage is important, because marriage is important for me. So Africa, Uganda, you get that in Uganda. If anyone is serious about being in a serious relationship, finding a wife, or even women that want a serious husband, Uganda is the place. Kenya is the place. You name it, Ghana, Nigeria. Those are good places to find a soulmate, because in those countries, in Uganda and other African countries, people are raised and reared to be spouses. You all believe in the woman's role, the man's role. I love that role. I love taking care of you financially, taking care of my family financially, and then I love your role that you play in our house. So I needed that. I needed that marriage and family culture. It was very important for me. So those are the advantages that I found living in Uganda, living abroad.
Oh, that's great.
Uh-huh. So we want to thank everybody for joining us today. Continue to share, like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friends about it. Invite people to the show. We're going to continue to show you our journey. We'll be preparing to leave America to go back to Uganda in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, like in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah, mid-February, early February, we'll be going to Uganda. We're going to take you with us to Uganda. We're going to take you on the plane with us, take you with us to our land as we're building our real estate there. We're going to take you with us so you'll see the journey. We'll take them by our farmland, for our livestock farm. We're going to take you inside of our life. We're going to let them meet your family.
Yeah, of course. You will meet my family. You'll meet my mom. You'll meet my dad, and you will see how real African people behave.
Party. Dance. They're going to meet your sisters, and we're going to have them dance for you, and we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. So make sure you continue to watch. Hit that notification bell, and be part of our life as we be part of your life. We definitely want to appreciate you all for coming today.
And we love you.
Peace.